fearless and aligned, you would actually need a pen. You would actually need a pen. So I kept asking, I asked the Lord, who are the people in the audience? What's been their experience? I think this time last week, Saturday, I was actually at TEDx at Ajayi Crowder. And I was speaking to my experience, one of the many experiences, the things that shape us in life. At some point, I never thought I would be here. At some point, I'm sure there are many Kunbis also seated here, having different experiences. And when I wrote the script for that TEDx, I actually cried a bit. And I said, Lord, this is how far you've brought this little girl. I just want to say something here. So not all of us are Christians. Some people have called me PK here. There's nothing I have become today that I have not been enabled by the Spirit of God. I cannot separate who I am from whom I believe. Because He has been everything, my all in all. And so you will forgive me as I speak, because there will be reference to Him, the Lord of life. Thank you. So let's look at this. I want to show you some people. And I'll ask you a few questions. Can I have the slide move, please? Who resonates with you here? Anybody? We have to make this interactive. Don't worry, you already have my face, okay? But who resonates with you? Ibukwa Woshika, why? Why does Ibuku resonate with you? Her resilience. I want us to note those words. Her leadership. Okay? Somebody said Okonjo Iweala, yes? So why Okonjo? Why? Her confidence. She broke barriers. She broke all barriers. Okay? So, and then I had another name. Mrs. Alakija. Playing where? Male-dominated space. Yes, what else again? Okay. Richest African woman. Please, does she have a degree? Do we know? Nah. Later on, the beginning. Okay. Who else can we see? Joke Silva. Why does she resonate? So I've heard many words. She broke barriers. I've heard resilience. What else have you? Confidence. Territory where men are working and saying, I can. Okay? For Joke Silva, what do you have to say? Anyone? She's talented. So are the ladies in this room talented? Are you different from the women here? So tell me what's going on with you. You know there's an adage in Yoruba land. Isheta Beru Labomo. Anybody willing to interpret? Anyone? Yes? Don't worry, we will take it. You are part of us today. Okay? Yeah? We're born the same way. The implication is, if this woman can be, you can also what? Be. Fantastic. Let's move on. So, one of the things we will find that they have in common, and I love the person who said resilience. Earlier on, when the panel was talking, there was what? Self-awareness. Multimedia, I need to move with my speed. And we talked about what? Breaking barriers. What enables you to break barriers? Courage. And at every step, all these women, what? They are authentic in their own selves. They are authentic in their own selves. And at times, the reason why we don't break barriers, the reason why we lack self-awareness, are because we have too many obstacles. There's societal expectation. If you remember the question the lady asked, am I supposed to take care of a man that tells me your legs will be in the room? When our former president said, how did he say it? The other room. What's that? Societal expectation. I was at a conference, family work-life conference on Wednesday, and there were conversations like this. And someone actually said, why? The man expects me to take care of the child, do everything, and not be part of it. How many of us grew up with daddies that would come home, ask for their food, and watch television? Plenty, we are many. Okay? But is it quite possible? Was it only the woman that gave birth to the child? No. So these are some of the societal expectations. And guess what? They start to color what you think about yourself. Part of it also is self-doubt. A few minutes ago, we were talking about identity. If I ask you, who are you? What would you say? Just think of it for a minute. Who are you? You'll say your name. I am Mrs. If you are Mrs. somebody, right? And then if I ask you in 2-3 sentences, talk more. Before I know it, you start to say, I have a child, my husband is. I said, who are you? And then we found that we've lost. Then there are biases. There are limitations. Let me give you my own story. Remember I said I was at TEDx. And the topic was own your stage. And I'm challenging you today. You need to own the stage of your life. So I backtracked to my childhood. I grew up in a safe environment. But in that environment, discipline was serious. I have a mother. It is auto knock at the center of your head. And that would reset you. We had uncles and aunties. The house was full. Even when we go for lessons, parents who meet you gisting on the road, the story has reached the house before you get to the house. They will beat you there. And as you are getting home, you will get another. But you see, there are authority figures in our lives. And the things they say. Growing up, my own environment, abuse was like, okay, when they say abuse you, fool. I mean, my own mom used to tell me firstborns are a dance. They didn't think of anything of it. But guess what? Those things shredded self-worth. Those things created limiting beliefs. And those things, what did they used to do to you? Do you know when you want to move and do something, what do you hear behind you? A voice. Everything is about a voice. Thank you. You are not good enough. Sheru eno wambe. And guess what happens to you? You start to withdraw. You shiver. If you had a teacher who would always cane you, in fact, some of us, you still hear, when you go for a reunion, what do? You start to rehearse those days. And then some of the ones who were very wicked, what happened to you? You would remember. Do you know unconsciously these things have shaped you? Some of those things have become limiting beliefs. They shut down mentally for you what you can become. And the biases, this is not for women. You probably know how many engineers we ought to have in this country that we don't. Just because we believe that it is not for. As a matter of fact, do you know our labor laws? There are some part of it that says women, no night shift, no. It's there. And those things need to be revisited. But these are things that have been curated in the society that has created biases. It's so strong. I mean, there are things we see in our Senate. There are things we see, all the layers of governance. But should we necessarily take on some of these things? These are some of the obstacles that we get to see. Oftentimes, women lack the support they require. And that shows up. I heard when someone said, my friends, my first reaction is, they are not your friends. Because you need to define friendship. So there are people, the panelist said, maybe you are friending them, and they are not friending you. So you really need to define friendship. But that is it. We now see that a lot of banks are coming up with special programs for women. Organizations are doing women in leadership because the support a woman requires is absolutely different. Absolutely different. And our society doesn't understand it. The worst part of it all, who pulls women down the most? Women. Now we. And that is why this conference is apt. But if you look at all the women that we looked at today, where did they start from? They left their comfort zone. And most oftentimes, your comfort zone is that zone where you are just, I'm okay. This is me. This is the way I am. But inside of you, you know that this is not who you are. A number of us have received what we call labels. And those labels, you have not taken them as your reality. And you start to, but you get a sense of lack of fulfillment. But you don't want to do what? Rock the boat. Some will say, I don't want to shake the tables. Is there only going to be one table in life? Break the leg and start another one now. As we say it in this area, Shogun Laeni. You know? And until you find that you move from that comfort zone, then you hear the words, do it afraid. There's the fear zone. That's when you want to step out. And look at all these other women we looked at. They went through every phase of this. As you step out, what happens? You start to learn. What is that skill you wanted to pick that you have never picked? We talked about Talakija. She didn't go to school when she started. In fact, I read the story when they told her, ordinary hairdresser, you were given oil block. Yes. Go and look for her story. Ordinary hairdresser. That was how she was addressed. Given oil block. The story is different today. Why? She moved from fear and she started to learn. She chose to learn. Then growth would happen. It is when growth happens that people see you. It's like that little seed. You know, each time you put a seed in the ground, what happens? It will first of all try to go where? Down. People don't see that, but it's with a lot of what? Can you imagine trying to pierce the soil and pushing? And until growth starts to happen, when you start to see it coming out. But a lot has happened under the ground. Some of us have chosen to be like a boiled seed, just put there. You know when you've boiled a seed, that's the end. You have allowed your circumstances to cook you. And therefore, you are just comfortable. You will just stay there. So in that soil, there's no growth. Nothing is happening. And yet, we envy everyone we see. When we saw all those women, all of us were like, if Ibuku should walk in here, what will happen? Did she arrive there overnight? So if she had decided to stay in her comfort zone, what would have happened? Aha. So today, I'm going to be giving you principles of empowerment. This is where you need your pen. The first principle is the principle of identity mastery. Who are you? Who do you call yourself? Who do you call yourself? If Mrs. is not there, if your child is not there, I'm an empty nester. The children are out of the house. So there are days I come in. I put on the TV downstairs. I put the one upstairs so that there can be noise in the house. And I'm not alone. Who are you? So they are out. And they will do life. And you will find that you are lonely. Who are you? What is that thing that nudges inside of you and say, this is who you are? Why are you not that person? Somewhere in the Bible it says, I am fearfully, so I know who I am. If God spent time to create me, then I'm not a corner piece. I cannot be in the showroom. I want to ask you a question. The chair you are sitting on, when the person created it, what was the purpose? So we can sit. Fantastic. You have a purpose. To identity, I want to say to you, you become what you believe about yourself. If you think you are that chair, yes, you are that chair. Everybody will sit on you. If you believe you are made to touch your world, everybody will hear your voice and feel your touch. Identity is the root. Until you see yourself clearly, you will shrink from your calling. There are no two ways about it. The second principle is the principle of purpose. I just spoke to the chair. You are not just a piece of soil molded together going through the world. I talked about the chair. There's a purpose for the chair. You are here for a purpose. You are not another soul that has been given a spirit to walk the surface of the earth. What is your purpose? Find it. What is your purpose? Find it. You were born with a divine assignment. Purpose is the anchor of power. Without it, anywhere, anyhow, works. Imagine we want to go to Kaduna today. I must understand why I am going to Kaduna. That determines whether I go by road, by air, by land, by sea, or anything. But guess what? If I don't even understand what I need to go and do in Kaduna, What I'm going to do may be time bound, but if I don't understand it, what will happen? I can trek now. So why are you here? What's your purpose? Miles Monroe said something, when purpose is not known. So etiemo. Do you know what that means? Every party, you are there. Anything, anyhow, you are there. It is you they find to run on all errands. Why? You are fit for all purpose. Is that what you are created to be? So what is your purpose? I want you to write. What is your purpose? Why are you here? What's your assignment? What have you been created to fulfill? And see, the question of purpose is not far. Never. You know, I think one of the panelists said you will find it within you. It's there. You just need to listen to that passion and nurture it. What are you passionate about? If I wake you up, what will be the first 10 things you will say? Your passion, your future is embedded in it. In that is also what you have skills to do, the capability to do. Find that intersection. And unconsciously, you would even have been following role models. You will not know it because you love what they do, you are passionate about it, and guess what? It's inside. Find that interlock like a Venn diagram. It's not that far. It doesn't even matter how little you think that thing is. Everything starts like a drop. Nurture. When you nurture, it grows. When it grows, what happens? Like a tree, it would what? Multiply. But if you don't find it, you can't even grow it. And in growing, you can't even nurture. Because it's in nurturing, you start to prune. What is it for? What is it not for? Always ask yourself, your existence is not random. Why am I here? And the question of time. How many people can bring back yesterday? It's gone. Except God in his infinite mercies brings back the opportunities to you. They are around you every day. Open your eyes. The third principle is vision of clarity. You cannot manifest what you cannot see. It starts in your mind. What can you see? Let me give you an example. God was talking to Abraham. He knew the guy was not what? He didn't have children. So can he see it? Even when God told him, you'll be what? Father of many nations. He couldn't see it. What did God tell him to do? He took him and said, look at the... What did that give him? Clarity. What can you see? What can you see? See, your vision gives purpose, your purpose direction. What you can see then helps you to say, I will go in this direction. But if you can't see it, I was talking about Kaduna. I had to know. I know the purpose. But for clarity, I must understand whether it's time-bound, what is the fastest route, what is more efficient. You need clarity. That's why Habakkuk 2 actually says, write it down. Make it plain. You know what technology does for us nowadays? You start to hear what? 3D, 4D drawing. Any architect in the house? Any architect in the house? Wow. Okay, but I heard somebody about instrumentation engineer. Ooh, yes. What do? There's first of all a what? A drawing. And that drawing, after a while, you start to see the 3D image. Modeling, thank you. If you want to build a house today, you go to an architect. What do? They first of all give you a ground plan. How many of you can interpret the plan? Nothing. And then they start to tell you, no, we'll use this kind of foundation. We will use, oh no, it's pile foundation. It's this. You're lost. All you want is what? A house. Then they realize that, we need to help your ministry. So what do? They do what? They give you a model. The minute they give you a model, what happens to you? You get clarity, right? You then start to see, okay, that drawing, this part is what this part looks like. You need that detail about your life. And from that moment, even when the architect comes and says, okay, we need a civil engineer, do you argue? Next thing, you start to look at your bank account. If you don't have clarity, you can't even understand the resources around you that will force you ahead. You can't. What number are we on? We now want to go to 4. The 4th principle is mental positioning. As a man thinketh, you cannot be otherwise. You must first win every battle in your mind. If you cannot win in your mind, you cannot conquer around you. See, you are spirit beings. You attract everything that you think. I want you to go through mentally every issue you've had. 1, within 24 hours, if you are calm enough, what happens to that issue? You begin to gain clarity. 2nd, if you think it is going to go bad, that this is how you are, what happens? It will go bad. You are a force. Whether you believe in God or not. And that is why people who don't even believe, this principle cannot be broken. It is mental positioning. Let me give you an example of mental positioning in the Bible. I call them the Joshua generation. There were people in the land. Pastor Tim, we see you. Welcome, sir. There were people in the land. They told them to go and check what? The land, Abby, is flowing with milk and honey. What did they see? They are giants. And how did they describe themselves? We are like grasshoppers. That's mental positioning. But what happened to Joshua and co? When they said, what did they say? They said, we are well. 2 sets of people seeing something different because of what? Mental positioning. If you don't understand this principle, you can barely make it. And that is why hairdresser can collect oil block. Mental positioning. So how do you position yourself mentally? How do you see yourself? What name do you call yourself when nobody is even there? Oh, you this stupid girl. You are not wise. Wisdom will then run away from you now. You know, Kik said something. If you can, if you believe you can, yes, you can. And if you believe you cannot, oh my goodness, you can't. What did you think that was? Mental positioning. So how have you positioned yourself mentally? 5, self-permission. I think we spoke to this earlier. Let me give you a story of somebody in the Bible who gave himself self-permission. How many people remember the story of the young slave and the boss who had leprosy? Imagine He looked at the girl and said, "You ordinary slave, what do you know?" But what did he do? He listened. He gave himself permission to subdue himself. What kind of permission are you giving to yourself? A lot of people have created mental cages. Permit yourself to climb out. You cannot do anything without the man. You want to buy sanitary pad? Man. Your friends are taking Ashwebi? Man. You cannot eat. Man. You can't move a step. Daddy wani kama jade loni. I can't step out. Oga said, everything Oga said. When exactly are you going to leave? Give yourself self-permission. There are people in your life who have spoken things, who have given you labels. Are those labels necessarily you? So when are you going to give yourself permission to step out and show that this is not you? Nobody can do it for you, not even Kunbi Adeoti. You have to do it. Stop waiting for anybody to give you that permission, to give you that nod. Brené Brown said you either walk inside your story and own it, or stand outside and hustle for your worthiness. You can stand by and be watching your life go on like a television. Number 6, the principle of capacity. You can never give more than you know. Am I lying? If you had stopped at primary education, you will only be able to speak to primary education. You know, in Yoruba land, you know what they call it? I love my language a lot. Forgive me, and I'll try to interpret for you. Okay, so somebody has to interpret since you know it. Whatever the bird takes is what enables it to gain heights. If you cannot subject yourself to learning and building, you're dead. I'm not kidding. And failure is not anything, it's an event. Let me give you my story. Some years back, so all those certifications you are seeing now, even last week, I sat down, midnight. My husband was asking me, Kilo, mo gbọ́dọ̀ pass. And he said, what again? I said, we must learn. He didn't understand it. What was I doing? It was a certification that had cloud computing. It had cybersecurity fundamentals, system thinking, artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI and augmented reality. 5 modules, day and night. Because I'm in HR and I do CX, you think I won't know. The world is moving, it's evolving. I should be talking about those things because, again, there's so much digitization and transformation going on. And if you don't understand the fundamentals, how do you lead? You cannot. You must build. I wanted to be a global HR practitioner as at that time. I looked around in Nigeria. I started for GPHR. I failed. I missed it by a few marks. For days, I cried though. That Christmas was a bad one. I think my husband couldn't cope anymore. He called my dad and said, Waba mi ba Kunbi so. But there was something I said to myself. If he cannot speak, then you cannot be wiser than me. This exam, 1 or 2 things. I kill you or you kill me. Simple. That was just it. So I went back because before that time, I used to, Ikoyi Library. They knew me and all the guys. I would be there morning, afternoon, night. Oh, by the way, I had children. I had 2 by that time. Anything your mind sets to do, you can create time for it. And guess what? I failed. Then I summoned courage. That word again, courage. You need it in your pocket. And then I started to read and found out. And I said, I could do master class in Canada. That was my first trip to Canada. And, of course, we paid. I went for the class. I met Lance Richards, met a number of people who influenced my career till date. That happens. If I stayed in my cocoon, even that global dream would have died. So I went. I did the learning. I came back, I aced. And then in Nigeria, I was still new. I think I was about the 8th person. Today, you can come and sit here and listen to me. But those times, did you know about it? Go and build capacity. Go and build capacity. And I have not stopped. There's still a journey ahead because everything is evolving. They said my time is up. Principle of pain and character building. I know about pain, no. I know about pain. You will have pain on this journey. Pain does not kill, it builds character. And it is the character that you need for where you are going. Because the least you can be is where you are today. So please understand it. Pain is not a punishment. It's a preparation. Your pain redefines. It refines you to become who you are meant to be. It's like gold. It goes through fire. But when it comes out, everybody sees the beauty. Nobody sees the fire. 8th, circle of influence. Hey, this one. It's because they told me I have 5 minutes. Who you surround yourself with determines how far you go. If you're in the company of fools, do you think you'll be separate? You'll just be another fool. If you're going to rise, find a different company. It's as simple as that. Surround yourself with people who will fire you, who will not extinguish you, who will enable you. The 9th principle of attraction. What you focus on, you attract. Shift your language, shift your posture, shift your energy. I already said it. As a man thinketh, you can't walk out of that. You will attract what you focus and what you think. And remember, we've spoken about mental positioning. The last part of it is that of bold action. If I come into the front of a swimming pool, I want to swim, I want to swim, I want to swim, I want to swim, I want to swim. You know I can say I want to swim till tomorrow. What will make the difference? Jump into the water and swim. So you need to step out. Whatever has held you, whatever mental cage, mental positioning, everything, look at these 10 principles and then begin to deal differently. One thing I will say, the effect of this principle is this. You need to have a clear purpose, but most important thing, have a blueprint. If you live here today and within the next 24 hours, you don't create a blueprint, master blueprint, like who wants to build a house, you have failed. You must go back, create. Where will I be in 2 months, in 3 months, in 5 months? What learning do I need to take? What capacity do I need to build? What mental shape do I need to take on? What barriers do I need to break? What labels? How do I rename myself? You must create a master blueprint for your life. You need to have a positive mindset. Build a supportive network. If they are not your friend, they are not your friend. Find the ones who will look at you in the eye and tell you you are failing. The ones who are authentic. Find a mentor, not a tormentor. Everything is a process. Embrace the process of resilience and develop character as you go. Dare, step out, take a bold action. The path of fulfillment, you've got to identify your limiting beliefs and confront them. List all those beliefs that you have always believed about yourself that is not true. Confront them, challenge them. Build capacity, build support network. Practice self-care. In the end, it's your life. In fact, what I know the Bible says is every man will give. Did it say you will give account of your husband and your children and your auntie and your uncle and your grandchildren? There's no Mrs. in heaven. Carry your load and begin to focus on it very, very quickly. Let's be upstanding. Let's take this together. I am fearless and aligned. I rise in purpose. I attract destiny. I expand in strength. I learn from pain. I grow in power. I give myself permission. I act in boldness. I lead with clarity. I walk in truth. I am becoming all I was created to be. God bless you.
The Unveiled Women Conference 2025, brought to you by the Unveiled Women Empowerment Initiative. Theme: Beyond Limits.